Hello again. As you can see, I'm actually having a bit of coffee in my office. This is my office downstairs, and I love cozy things. I'm not cooking today. I'll probably show you a little bit, but something I really wanted to cover, this new discovery that I made yesterday. I stumbled upon some information about histamines. And of course, the only thing I knew about histamines for the longest time was if you have a runny nose and you're sneezing, you need an antihistamine or you need a histamine blocker. And so I just always thought histamines were these big bad mamma jammas out there. They're these big bad germs or something is causing a problem. And what I learned, however, is that histamines are a natural chemical within the body. And histamines actually kick into gear whenever there is a foreign irritant or you have bacteria or a virus. Something is going wrong with your body. And so your histamines actually come out and they go over to the histamine receptors. And when they connect, what it does was it is involved in your immune response to whatever that foreign substance is. Histamines are actually a good thing. If you think about it, histamines are not the bad guy. In fact, when your nose is running and you're sneezing, it's because your body is trying to expel whatever it is that is making you sick. However, for years, ever since 70s, 80s, we have gone and picked up an antihistamine to shut down those receptor sites so that we don't have a runny nose and we don't sneeze. So what's interesting is, as I began to research this yesterday, I found that histamines are involved in the immune response. They actually help to stimulate a more robust immune response. All right. Histamines also regulate your sleep-wake cycle, and they improve your cognitive function. Who knew? The very thing that makes your nose run helps your brain work. Wow. Histamines also work as neurotransmitters in the brain, the spinal cord, and the uterus. So as ladies, that should be important. Histamines also release white blood cells during the allergic response. So honestly, here's what's interesting to me, and I never realized this till I really started fishing it out. Histamine is not the bad guy. In fact, when we run down to the store and we grab a histamine blocker, we actually can be prolonging our illness because we are shutting down the immune response our body is having against whatever irritant or virus or bacterial infection is there. So what do? I don't know. I mean, have you ever had those times when you're sneezing your head off and your nose is running like crazy? It's bright red and it's sore and it's raw and you're just like, I just want some sleep. Well, you know what? A histamine blocker is probably fine during the evenings when you're going to bed, but you don't want to be on them the whole time. You're stopping your immune system from working. So what should we do instead? Well, first of all, if you're sneezing and your nose is running, some great things you can do to help in that histamine response instead of hinder is work with your body, not against it. Your body is trying to expel an irritant or a germ. So what you need to do, some great options are a neti pot. Anybody ever heard of those? It's a little pot. You put in saline solution, get it warm, and you pour it in one side of your nose and out the other. Doesn't sound real beautiful, but it works. It cleans out your sinuses and it actually helps in the process instead of stopping the process. Another great thing you can do is take a hot, steamy shower. Usually, if my kids are sick, they can count on 3 or 4 hot, steamy showers a day till we're over it. Because, hey, I agree with doctors. I believe we need to go to doctors. But let's not make their job harder by running to them at the first sniffle where they say, okay, great, I'm going to use an antibiotic for you. But if anything really bad comes up, that antibiotic won't be strong enough anymore because your body's used to it. Let's make their job easier and let's improve our bodies. What we need to do is take these steps, neti pot, steamy shower, these kind of things that help the body in what it's trying to do. And if we'll take those steps first, a lot of times we won't even get to the point where we need medication, right? Now, what if we're on the other end of the spectrum? What if you have a congested nose? What if you have a congested chest? One thing that we really love to do, number one, is fire syrup. Fire syrup, we take local honey, okay, because as we know, local honey helps us to fight allergens in the area. So that will take care of those irritants. It's like the Avenger of the local irritants in your area. So we will take local honey and we put in fresh garlic, not out of the jar. We're talking freshly crushed garlic. And I will put 1 or 2 whole heads of garlic in there and crush them up. You put them in, you mix it up really good. Then what you want to do is with that fire syrup, you want it to ferment. So every day you want to shake it really well. And if it's top side up, well, one day, the next day you want to turn it top side down. And the next day, turn it back. Turn it back. You're going to do that for about 4 weeks. Yes, you need to do that before you get sick. But we always have a jar of fire syrup ready to go by cold and flu season. The thing is, honey is not only antibacterial, antimicrobial, but so is garlic. Garlic is as strong as many antibiotics. And people don't realize that because a lot of times the garlic we buy at the store, garlic powder has been dried. Sometimes the minced garlic, it's not as good. It's already been broken out of the clove there, and it doesn't have all the nutrients that it should have. It doesn't have all the power it should have. But when you have fresh garlic out of the garden that's not been crushed open, that has a lot of power, and we need to reconnect with the power we have. So fire syrup is a great thing, and what we will do is we'll take a big tablespoon of that in the morning if we're congested or we have a runny nose, whatever you have going on that's respiratory. You take a big tablespoon in the morning, about 2 or 3 hours, take another one, 2 or 3 hours, take another one. And over time, it will take maybe a day, maybe 2 days, it will begin to knock that stuff out. So it's a great first response when you start to come down with something. And then if it's worse, if it keeps getting worse, fine, run to the doctor, go get you something. But let's give the body a chance to fight it. Second thing, and I had this happen just about 2 weeks ago. We had burned a fire in our fireplace, and our lower fireplace is not venting correctly. And it just really messed with me. And I had congestion here, and then the congestion went down in my lungs. And one night I am laying in bed, and it's a raspy cough, and I can feel it. It is just, rattling in my lungs. And my husband, he said, "You're worrying me." I said, "Yeah, I'm worrying myself. I'm a little worried about this." And he said, "Well, do you need to go to the doctor?" And I said, "Well, I really haven't tried anything yet. I guess I could go." And he goes, "Well, you haven't done anything?" And I said, "Well, no, I've got all these remedies. I haven't tried a thing. I've been busy." A lot of times that's how we wind up sick, is because we're busy and we know to try, we know things to do, and we just don't do it. So he said, "You get out of this bed and you go do what you know to do." I thought, all right, fine, I'm up. So I went in the kitchen, I grabbed a fresh onion. Okay, this is a great remedy for congestion, whether it's nasal congestion, your sinuses, or in your chest. So I sliced that onion up. Now, what we do in our home is we will put a slice of onion on the sole of our foot. You wrap it with saran wrap and you put a sock on. What it's going to do is it goes through the pores of your feet. The largest pores on your body are in the soles of your feet, and it will start to open you up. Usually it opens me here, but if I've got something really serious going on in my chest, I want a little bit more than that. So what I do after that is the remaining slices of that onion, I will take a wash rag and I will wet it to where it's just damp, and I'll wring it out real good, and put about 3 big slices of onion in there. And we're talking about maybe 3/4 of an inch thick or 1/2 inch thick, something like that. Put those 3 slices across, fold that rag twice. All right. Then you're going to heat it in the microwave for about a minute. Now, if you're dealing with kids, you probably don't want it that hot on their skin, but as an adult, I can handle about a minute's worth of heat on my chest. So heat it and then wait until it's a temperature that your skin, or whoever's going to be using it, that your skin can handle that heat. And I always put mine in a sock and close up the sock with a rubber band because I've got kitties and I don't want my cats or my dog to get a hold of the cooked onion. So at that point, I'm going to put it in the sock, close it up, and I go to bed and I lay it on my chest. What is incredible is that is very powerful. It's called an onion poultice. It works. Now you will smell like French onion soup in the morning. However, I will tell you, I had the very bad rattle in my chest. I told my husband, I said, I think I'm going to come down with pneumonia again, like I did last year when we first moved here. We had to get used to everything in this area. And so that was really tough. But I told him, I said, I think I'm going to wind up with pneumonia again. It's definitely bronchitis. I'm having a problem. But when I put that onion poultice on my chest, within about 30 to 40 minutes, I was no longer coughing. And I would breathe in really hard to go, okay, can I feel the rattling? Can I feel the rasping? No, it was gone. And by in the morning, I was over it. I did not have to do any other remedies. I was over it. That stuff works. Now, I am not a medical doctor. I'm required to say that. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you what I am. I am a mom who's sick and tired of an 80s mentality with my health. We need to stop running for pharmaceuticals until they're necessary. We've got to build our terrain, do things naturally as much as we can, and then if it doesn't work, if there's a big bad mean bug that those can't quite hit it, then go to your antibiotics, because then they're going to work even better for you because you haven't overused them and you haven't abused them. So no, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a mom, I'm a cook, and that is one way of using things in the kitchen to help you with your histamine response or with congestion. So one thing that I was thinking about is, did I mess up as a mom because I didn't know this before? And, I was questioning, how did I get this so wrong for so many years? Number one, we get this wrong because of advertising. Every time you look at a screen, especially during cold and flu season, they do not show somebody coughing and going and grabbing a natural remedy. They put those ads up there to sell something they can make money on. I will tell you, there is no patent on onions. No one can make money from onions, but there are patents on certain drugs, and they're making money from them. That's why they advertise, because it's a business. Now, it's not necessarily their fault that that's all you're seeing. They're just doing their job. That's their marketing department. But the problem is that's all we're seeing. So for generations now, we have thought the only way to fight illness is through pharmaceuticals. And we don't realize this needs to be a tag team approach. There needs to be the health, the natural side. And then we pull in pharmaceuticals and our doctors when we need Superman to come in, right? So there needs to be a balance. The second way that we get it wrong is we have such a fast-paced society now. You look at us 70 years ago, most women were in the home, many women were in the home, and they had the time to sit back and reflect, even if they're washing dishes and, ironing clothes and hanging washing out on the line. I get that they were busy, but they were physically busy, not mentally exhausted, okay? And they had the time to research these things and really look at, hey, what did my mother, what did my grandmother do? What are we doing in the community? Oh, everybody's got the flu. What remedies are we doing? And they had the time to slow down and do what they needed to do. A lot of times now, we ladies are busy. I'm sorry, we're busy. I work a full-time job. I minister in our church. I am in the middle of writing my book. I write articles for periodicals. I homeschool my kids, and I do this channel. So I'm very busy. The problem is when that busyness causes us not to take care of us and our families in the way we should, we need to slow down and say, wait a minute, back the truck up. What really matters? Third way I think that we've gone wrong is we've lost touch with our ancestors' ways. For decades now, even our school system has been pushing this misunderstanding that former generations were ignorant. And there's been a lot of disrespect. I know when I was younger, I engaged in it too, because everybody was doing it. Oh, our ancestors or our great-grandparents, they were stupid. They didn't know about all of our modern technology and our modern pharmaceuticals and all the things we do now that are so much quicker. And we really, really look down on our elders. You know what? That's come around to bite us in the butt today. How did we go wrong? We lost touch with the fact that our grandparents and our great-grandparents and our great-great-grandparents were smart people. They were smart cookies. They were survivors. They were fighters. And they still have things we can learn. A lot of the things I have learned in the last few years that I'm going to be sharing on this channel are not necessarily new. They're not new things that I came up with. I'm not a doctor. I'm not some incredible person. No, I'm rediscovering what someone else learned. I'm rediscovering what my great-grandmother probably could have taken me in the kitchen and taught me. Those three areas, advertising, being too busy, and disrespecting our elders, have led us down a path that is unhealthy. I think we need to take the bull by the horns. That didn't come out. We need to take the bull by the horns and relook at how we take care of our families and our own bodies. I hope that helped you today. I know it was quick and it was short, but I've been editing videos all day today. I guarantee you I'm getting another cooking video up quickly. For today, this was your tidbit. I hope you have a great afternoon. I am still waiting on snow to melt so I can have my coffee outside. In the meantime, I'm going to stay in here and stay warm. Have a good day.